Hello everybody. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time it is for you, where you are. For me, it's morning, and it's cold. It was 3 degrees Celsius this morning when I stepped outside with my doggy. But I got layers. Hi, Hazel. Hello. Good morning, or afternoon, or evening. Welcome back, everybody. Pickles919, thank you for the 29-month resub. I just got Arfus. Woo! Love your jacket coat. I thank you. It's fuzzy lined, although not in the sleeves. They seem to think it would make it too difficult to put on a jacket if it was lined in the sleeves. But at least it's lined in the cuffs, so I feel like that traps some amount of heat in. Shall we begin? Oh, no, we can't. We can't begin. I didn't make my coffee. I didn't make my coffee. Rarely put the floof in the sleeves. For me, it's evening. Hello. Hello. Bright in the hair. Yeah, it's a new one. It's a new one. What do we think? This is you know what? It's kind of like a gnome pink. It's just not the one that it's not the gnome pink of my gnome, but it's a gnome pink. We are bubblegum. I think it looks really cute. I think it's gonna fade super fast. And I think that next time I do it, because of course I'm never satisfied and I'm always thinking about the next thing. Next time I do it, I'm gonna start mixing colors like a mad scientist to try to get the shade that I want, and then we'll see how it goes. But that's the nice thing about dyeing a buzz cut is you do it again every 4 weeks, and then, you know, if you don't like it, you just do it again. Although I do like it. I thought I was the only one with many hunters. Ah, no. Must have coffee. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I gotta make some coffee. Kitty cat, are you here? No, you can't stream. It's made. I just need to like put it in the cup and put the oat milk in and stuff. So 1 sec, sorry. Okie dokie, thank you for your patience. This is very important. Gotta get the hazel juice to power the morning hazel. Let us do some Headless Horseman. For the last variety of days, I've been doing 2 runs a day. I might amp it up today, not because I think it's gonna help, but just, I don't know, in the interest of doing it, running it more times. We don't know much when it comes to this. Scarlet, we'll have 370s by the end of the stream. Wow. Alright, we want this one. I'll do all the curses and characters that have gear. I think the characters that don't have gear, it's not that they'll die because of their lack of gear, but... Kitty, you want to come up? What is my logic? What is my rationale here? Why do I not want to... it doesn't matter. More brain juice. Warm up the fingies. Been doing time walking since level 30. Oh, wow. That is fast. Got the horseman to drop them out to my 2nd account. There you go. Something. What do we want to... Here, let's give that to there. Let's dodge some of these. I would really like Arfus, but I only want to get Arfus if Arfus wants to get me. It's gonna happen or it won't. I'm not gonna try an insane amount of times or anything, so... I mean, I couldn't try an insane amount of times if I wanted to. I don't know how many 70s I have. Should we count after this? Whenever people ask, I think I say something to the effect of, well, it's more than 10. And I think it's less than 20. That sounds true. That sounds reasonable. I think that's it. Haven't got the saddle for the dragon mount. Sometimes I've leveled twice with the XP from the end of the dungeon. I guess I could also work on time walking. I could do some time walking queues to get my I gotta get my 5 stack of the buff back so that I can get my mount, because this should be the 5th week, assuming I haven't missed anything or forgotten any weeks. This should be the 5th week of turbulent timeways, so I should be able to get the sandy shale wing, which honestly I think my main feeling with that one is that it'll be nice to get it out of the way, because it'll be one less thing to think about. It's a fine mount. It's not particularly notable, but you know, it'll be done. Green Arrow, thank you very much for the 15-month resub. Appreciate it. Pumpkin breath. Pumpkin breath sounds kind of good right now. Oh, I've stood in things, but we're almost done.
Watch your feet.
We're almost done.
Watch your feet.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you guys that are doing like 20, 50 horseman attempts a day are keeping up with it. They take a long time sometimes. Oh, we got a pumpkin. Doodle-oo. No. Have some coffee, try another one. Just hoping for the mount now. Went from 31 to 53 within a few hours. Got the mounts from the new 12-month subplan yesterday. Yeah, they finally came through. I had to click on that notification like 4 or 5 times before it finally told me there was something there. But, alas, we have them now. So there's this one. Oh, that scared me. I thought somebody else had it on top of me, but that was just the summoning in animation. There's the purple giant murloc. The moon beast, I think, is the one of great note. That's cool. That's pretty unique. There's your mount special for that. The moon beast mount can fly, which is neat. Oh, we have to see that. We have to see that. Let's go storm it. Man, just the mug being warm on the fingers is really nice. It is, in fact, not too fat to fly. Would never imply such a thing. Shame the murloc can't fly or swim faster. Having seen it, I could kind of believe it, though. It doesn't look like it's been built for function. It looks like a murloc that's gotten really into bodybuilding. And they're generally decorative muscles. They're just for show. Hot warm mug feels nice in the fall. Looking forward to the dragon. It's blacked out. Yeah! So like a slither drake skin of some kind. I guess we'll find out what that is in, what, 6 months? Something like that. So it does fly. It does fly. It does so with kind of like blue sparkly paw prints. But it doesn't like sprout wings or anything, which is funny because it's kind of like an owl. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like mounts that fly like that. Murloc was hanging out with the dog boy. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Meow. Mr. Moose was sleepy this morning. He didn't want to get out of bed. I mean, he did, but like he was slow doing it. He yawned for like 2 full seconds, maybe 3. And then he like covered his eyes with his paws like, no, I want to go back to bed. It's cold out there. I know it. I can smell it. How is Azel today? She's level 40. I guess she's going to reaccumulate rested because she ran out of rested on her journey to level 40. I did log on to her to like post up her leather that she had ground on the auction house and to get her warlock training and stuff, but I don't know when I'm gonna play that next. In theory, I'm busy. It's like patch season, it's BlizzCon season, it's raid guide season. And then there's like I've got some other stuff that I'm also that's also kind of happening at the same time. So, you know, in theory, I'm not leveling the warlock, but sometimes you just want to play hardcore. Shall we do curses? We'll do curses. Yeah, she's still alive. Supposed to be nearly half husky. What do you mean nearly half husky? He's like 16% husky. Not even 11% husky. That's why am I being pedantic about this? You're right. He does have a lot of northern breeds in him. He should like the cold. I feel like one of his great grandparents was a sled dog. Oh, it's so good. The hot coffee is so good. What do we want to press with our buttons? This one? And then like this one? No. This one? That overlap between the purple swirls and the pumpkin breath when you're doing the curse run is pretty much the only part of it that's annoying. The rest of it is fine if you are paying enough attention to notice it when it happens. Do you put cream in the coffee? I am an oat milk person. I like oat milk in my coffee. I go to the grocery store and I purchase oat milk and dairy milk, which I'm sure makes me look silly. But I put the oat milk in the coffee and I put the dairy milk in the tea, and never shall the two mix and match. You know, you like what you like. Yeah, I don't think this curse run's going very well. I didn't stop my ad. Wish the weather would make up its mind here. Back to mid-high 70s. I just want to be cozy. The orange orb. That's my Rashuk's Molten Heart. That's my healing trinket. One of these. My priest has one too. Lust? No. I don't want to. I don't know how. Okay. I played this for 2 patches, 2 tiers. Did not ever get it through my head that I had lust. It's because I was always in a group with Flabby. Flabby plays a shaman. Flabby always does it. No one wants me to lust. I don't know when you're supposed to do it. I think that if they ever gave me like a B-res or something, there would be no point because I would never use it because I'd be like, well, I didn't know when we wanted to. You know, what if we're saving that for like someone's birthday? Blame the hunter. Yeah, the curse is not going so good. If we can kill it before I mess up 3 more times, then we're in good shape. Evoker does not have a B-res. It's one of the only things they don't have. We do have Lust. Buying milk for different people. People will think you're doing that, which is not weird. True. There's also the chance that people aren't thinking that much about the milk that I'm buying. I think anybody in a store probably sees too many groceries to care at all about what groceries somebody's buying, especially something like that that's like pretty tame. Loot-filled pumpkin. Nope. Alrighty. How many more of these do I want to do? Katie, what do you think? Should we do at least, here, I want to count my characters. Lust is a shaman problem. Swear something's wrong with this. Been doing it with 7 characters, full curses. Haven't gotten anything. Can be like Brewfest. Yeah, the odds don't seem high. It doesn't seem like a common drop sort of situation. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15 level 70s. That's the answer, 15. So between 10 and 20 was actually correct. Go for it, Mom. Get odd looks if you buy weird enough combinations of things. Yeah, every now and then if I'm behind somebody in line and they're buying something like... It has to... The weird combination of things has to be like a very small thing. It has to be like you're buying 3 things and they're like funny when purchased together. That's the only time it's ever really noticeable. If those same 3 things were in a grocery load of like 50 items, then it's not really gonna compute. A new toilet seat and a plunger. If somebody was shopping for a new toilet seat and a plunger, I would assume they've just moved in. I would assume that they have moved into a brand new place and they are taking the time-honored good advice of always have a plunger, and they're somebody that wants to replace their toilet seat when they move into like a rental or a new house or something. They want their own toilet seat. I wouldn't assume it was some kind of a toilet disaster. Now, if they're buying a plunger and also like... I don't know. What would be a strange thing somebody would try to use to fix something like that? Not enough coffee. Funny bone not working. My spec is weird. That's raid healing. I suppose it's fine, but I'm not doing any curses. You can't make me. Randomly queued with a guildmate in the dungeon finder. Who got it in the first try? Lots of drain declogger. Yeah. Industrial fan roll those blue paper towels. Arfus 2 days ago was so happy. Nice. Script drops make me sad. First kill of the day to 8 kills. The which kill it dropped from some people is such a hard thing to try to think about. Oh, fine. Because like there's a bias going on where people are reading that info and they're using it to drive the decision of how many characters am I going to farm it on. So if you have a ton of people that decide, oh, I'm only going to farm in 1 character because that's the only time it has a chance to drop, more of the drops will be on the first character because those people aren't doing subsequent ones. Whereas people that are doing a ton of characters are going to have we don't know because we don't know anything, but you know, they're more likely to present a kill later on, and maybe it's happening in the first 8 for a reason, or maybe a lot of people that are farming with alts don't have 50 and they have like 10. It's something you can really drive yourself nuts about. 8 characters per day free. Hate that they didn't add Arfus to the glyph to the vendor. I think it's I'm kind of personally in this weird place with it where I want the pet, but I know for a fact that if they had just put Arfus on the vendor, because that's mostly what I'm worried about. If they had just put Arfus on the vendor, I would not really care. I would grind the treats and that would be annoying. And then I would get the pet and I'd be like, well, that's done. And I would never look at it or think about it again. I think that having it be like this would mean that I'm going to have, if it did drop, which is not a guarantee, but if it does drop, I'll be excited about it when it happens. And then I'll probably remember and or enjoy the pet more after the fact. Because there's been some really cool pets that they've just stuck on the vendor that I've never thought twice about ever again. I don't hate it when they do that, but I don't feel like it's particularly fun. Whether or not this is fun is up to interpretation, but it certainly gets the people going. And I don't know if I would want them to. What do I want? Do I want clarity on drop rates? Would that make me feel any better? I don't know. I don't know what I want. I want a house with a yard. Ooh, owie. Ouchie, oofy, owie. You cute pupper. Ones who got it without using the curses versus using the curses. Yeah, exactly. Who's to say? You can get the dog twice, but only have one in your pet journal? Well, now I'm bummed out to think that there are people that have gotten the dog twice. I got the horseman's hood, which is transmog that I think I already have. At least, it's a plate helmet, but it is collected. I do know that one already. At least I'm not farming for the mount. That's something. Get yard, put leaves in giant pile. Watch Moose jump into it. Yeah, I've not been letting him jump into the piles of leaves we see out in the world. Because one, somebody else worked hard to rake those up. And then secondly, especially when they're on the street, I've known mice and rats to like live in them while they're sitting there. And I'm not ready for him to find a live rat. I'm not prepared for that day. Maybe your luck is revving up. Kitty, how you doing? You sleep okay? You slept on bed last night, that's good. Should I get her out of Orbos? I don't know what I was in Orbos for. Some piece of footage or checking a cinematic or something. It's certainly quiet there. If you ever want a place to hear yourself think, you can just go back to the loop. I don't know if I'm encouraged or not by the fact that Chloe got a second Arfus. I guess RNG is RNG. Well, we'll try it. We'll give it a go. I only have 15. Well, 15's quite a few. If I do 10 in an hour, I'm going to hit instance cap. At which point, I don't know if they would let me do solo shuffle if I hit instance cap, actually. Okay, give me the curses. Lay them on me. I'll give it to you if I could. Oh, that's very sweet. I'm thinking about like the RNG of it all. I don't know how many attempts I've had. I'm using rarity, but it doesn't seem to be on very many of my characters, so using is a strong word. It told me my second attempt was today, and that's not true. I've definitely done more than that. I know I did all 15 characters on the first day, because I wanted to see if I could brute force a spawn, or like a drop of the pet, on that first day so that I could get a better look at the model for the video that I did. I don't really know how that trinket works. I just think I get haste from standing in the thing. Also, I'm a healer. It doesn't really matter. I'm not doing a whole lot of damage. 12 characters today. Arfus dropped to my 4th attempt, 60th total. The only thing they said is definitely a better chance in your first kill of the day is the mount. It makes you nuts. I am in a sad state of affairs in my home today. I am completely out of bread. I need to fix this. I need to either pick up some bread or order bread delivery, or the best solution, I think, tell my bread maker to make some bread for me. Input bread ingredients into bread machine. Go beep boop 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 beep boop 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 bread, please. I thought about doing this morning, but I was running late for stream, and also my puppy doggy, my moofy baby, my fluffy, he's napping, and he's tired. I don't want to, like, I don't know, disturb his sleep or keep him up. With the bread machine is somewhat noisy. Yes. No bread. I hate being breadless. I never think about how bread-based of a being I am until I am breadless, and then I realize, oh wow, I do usually have like toast for breakfast or sandwich for lunch or whatever. Run Horseman alt for Arfus? You can. You'll have chances to get it. It can happen. Yeah, I'll do it on all of mine. Let's do this. This is my character that I've been PvPing on. I'm probably going to do a bit of this today, once I'm, at some point, once I need to wait out instance lock or something. Or I get close to instant lock and I need to wait it out. Would it count? I don't know. Anyways, we're 58% of our way to the wars now. And we can, I mean, the vault doesn't really matter. I've just been taking transmog out of vault. Sure, it smells good. Moose will want to have it. What did he want to have that I had recently? He's taking disappointment very well when it comes to not eating food out of my bowl. He's kind of figured out that I'm not going to give him table scraps. But sometimes it's harder for him to accept than others. What did I have? Did he want my curry? No. Maybe. He wanted something weird. Not that curry is weird, but something that you wouldn't expect a dog to want. Like, you expect a dog to be, like, very honed in on simple, strong scents or, like, meat flavors or something. Fish. Iloin, thank you for the 14-month reset. So much power to have bread in a few hours at any point. 2-hour recipe. Understand the French Revolution better. Everyone has a primary carb source. Ours is rice. Yeah. I do rice pretty often, but mine is definitely bread. No Arfus luck just yet. I promise I will not give him any raisins or grapes. Will you try for Duelist? I really want the illusion. I didn't plan on it. I was just planning on grinding out games until I get this snail. Duelist is what, 2.2? 2.1? I don't know. Rating seems weird right now. In Shuffle, I am playing like a mess. And going mostly 3 and 3. But even when I go dead evens, I seem to gain rating just because of, I don't know, I think that they overcompensated when they tried to fix the rating lock. Like, there were memes about it back at some competitive event or whatever about how even the really good players were still like 1900. And they did something, and whatever they did, I think, is driving inflation without any need for me to get any better. So I might push rating just by virtue of being a living warm body. Do I have any amount of damage that I can do to this thing in time? Not really. I think we made it. I'm gonna get smoked by that though. Owie. MMR inflation into season is real. Super low compared to previous seasons. I mean, maybe I'm just awesome, but I doubt it. I doubt it. Nope. Okie dokie. Humble brag? I suppose so. Yeah. PvP sucks. Lots of people quit. Yeah. Maybe. Alright, Barnacles. You might be happier if you don't do any curses. Drop rate of the myth feels bad. There must be people that are doing full curse runs on like 50 characters, and that is such a commitment. That has to take hours. This is the run, you think? I mean, he's got the mog. He's got the looks. He has got the energy. Kitty, you want a shoulder rub? Cat massage. Yeah, purse. I give Moose pup massages. I give him like shoulder rubs or like leg rubs. I'll try to find the muscles that he uses a lot when he's playing and wrestling and give him a little rub down. And he seems to enjoy it. He seemed confused at first, but I'm gonna do a no curse run just for just cause. Gave up on doing curses. Got the Drake armor, last one I wanted least out of the mount pet. Yeah. I wouldn't say no to the Drake armor, but it's the pet's definitely higher up on my list. Although I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about how I might feel if the event ends and I don't get Arfus, and I think the answer is probably relieved, because if the event ends and I don't get Arfus, nothing else doing, and I don't have to try anymore for a while. The grind will then leave me alone, and I won't really be any better or worse off for it. Can try again next year, you know? Kind of tune is she playing? This is a resto druid right now. I'm cycling through a lot of different characters to try for a rare drop from this holiday event. This one is a druid. He's a Kultiran. He's wearing a really cool outfit. And I have very vaguely spec'd him resto to heal. How many else? I've been just doing 2 chances a day for a while. I did all 15 alts in the first day, and I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to do all 15 today as well. Although I might need to take a solo shuffle break just to make sure that we don't run up into instance cap. Because you can do 10 an hour. Although Horseman takes so long. I ran into instant cap when I was doing Brew Fest because Corandara Brew fell over so fast, but I feel like it wouldn't be as big of an issue for this because it would take almost an hour to run 10 characters. I couldn't tell it was a Kultiran. Yeah. He is beauty and grace and style and fashion. What he is not HPS. He is not so much with the throughput. That's okay. Hope Arfus shows up later in the trading post or shop. Oh, if they put it on the shop. I mean, the trading post is basically a pseudo shop at this point. But if they put him on like the shop, I don't know. Do we have any outrage left in us anymore? I don't know if anyone cares. We're all kind of tired. I think that people that remain in the WoW economy are people that have a certain amount of tolerance for microtransactions, because if you didn't, you'd be gone by now. They're definitely boiling that frog. Any luck? A magic broom. Do it on DPS. Won't be a problem, guarantee. I guess that'll actually slow down the queue time. Some of the characters will have to do it on DPS. Some of them won't have healing specs. Get stuck on the fences every time I do this. Speaking of style, so excited for 1989 tonight. I used to think that Taylor was releasing like a television special for each of her album releases, and that's what people were talking about with like you know, Fearless TV, I thought that there was like she had like a show. And then it's occurred to me at this late stage of my life that it's Taylor's version. It's the re-release, and it doesn't imply any sort of television production necessarily. But that one took me a minute. Hey, look, it's Petal Bloom. Anyone else remember the cat massage YouTube video that was a meme in 2009? I don't. I think I have 20 brooms by now. Send me in. It's certainly more relaxing doing it without the curses. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna not worry about them unless it's like on my main. For all I know, the curses just increase your chance at the key, and then that was it. You know, like, that seemed to be directly correlated, but everything else, I don't know. Evanston, thank you for the 26-month resub. Cheers, Hazel. Good luck on the pup. Thank you very much. 50 brooms and squashlings at this point. I've been just chucking the squashlings straight in the digital compost, and I just delete them out of hand. Yeah, the key unlock is account-wide if you get it. You can also buy them. They are posted on the auction house. Or if you know somebody that has a key, and you can get into their version, like if they'll let you into the instance, you can go loot one from Arcanist Doan behind in the library. 20k. Yeah, well, don't spend 20k. Especially not if you're still farming curse runs. Curses are useless. We don't... oh, yeah, yes, you can get the key from other people who have the key already. They can let you into their Scarlet Library, and you can just go loot the key from the chest behind Doan. It does mean that when you get into your version, you only get that chest key once, so you don't get another one to sell, but that's fine. The key is for unlocking access to the old, previously removed version of the Scarlet Monastery instances, where you can farm old, previously removed transmog appearances and recipes and stuff. It's pretty cool. Auctioneer turtle in that thing? Oh, yeah. That's the Mighty Caravan Brutosaur. Do you think this is the most controversial thing that they've done, like, ever? I don't know. I feel like the Brutosaur drama was pretty on par with the original Sparkle Horse drama. Yes. No. Good talk. Riveting. Would you ever be in favor of them bringing back items such as Benediction or Rock de Lar? I defer, again, and, this is ironic of me. I defer any participation in that one because I don't care. And I feel like that kind of thing should be left to people that do care. I have no stake in it one way or the other. If they bring him back, it doesn't, not much to me. If they don't bring him back, also not much to me. No real investment in that. Hazel, can you don't know, maybe. Original WoW token drama was pretty intense. Man, that one must have breezed right over me because I was just happy that I could, like, pay for my sub with gold. I was rich from the mission table, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll get money. Wish they'd release a regular Brutosaur mount. Yeah. Bumbled because I couldn't play a lot during BFA. Mm-hmm. Hi, Key. You wanna come back? Meow, meow, meow. We gotta try to get some desk time in today. They changed this fight. They did. It's been redesigned for this year. There's also an optional individual opt-in hard mode where you can turn on extra affixes to make it harder. That in theory give you a better chance at loot, but in practice, who knows? Seems questionable. Hello, Hazel in chat. Was the drama... the drama was mostly removing the Brutosaur. from the vendor and putting it on the Bema. There was some amount of drama just from introducing the Brutosaur because of how expensive it was on the vendor at the time. It was like, what, 5 mil gold? 2 mil gold? 5 mil gold? 5 mil, I think. And there was drama over people being like, well, I'll never be able to afford that because I'm not a whale, which is fair. But then when they removed it, now it's on the Bema, and now it's like 10 mil, plus you have to like snipe it, and it's even more unrealistic now. There was that, because it always felt like Blizzard kind of regretted adding the Brutosaur in the first place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do a shuffle queue. Let's space them out. Let's spread them out a little bit. Plater is my nameplate sat on. Yeah, that's right. The spider was 2 mil. Hi, kitty cat. How are you doing today? Oh, hi, sweetie. Run to the vendor, buy the burrito. Super duper rich with my WoW tokens from Christmas. Just got the Horseman's Reigns. Congratulations, then, David. Oh, nice Saga. That's good to get. That's good to get done. You won't regret picking up that broom, man. Okie dokie. Should we send ourselves in to play? We don't have to push rating. We don't even have to win. We just have to play and then eventually win some. Hi. Hello. You're so sweet. Yeah. Hope you get Arfus if you haven't already. It's so cute. Yeah, me too. I would like it. Hello. What if I'm just not as worried about Arfus anymore because I have the cutest puppy dog in real life in the whole world, and even if I don't get the ghost puppy, I can go give the real puppy a big hug. I got lots of marks of honor, so we're all set for transmog shopping sometime. I guess I'm saving them up to buy weapon arsenals because the nice thing about those is that they're not... Like, when you buy a weapon arsenal for a season, you get all of the weapons for, like, all classes for the season to your account. So it's less like logging over to various places and buying different sets. Plus, it's not like there's any PvP sets in particular that I'm looking for right now. Although it is certainly much more expensive to buy an arsenal. It's like, what, 80 marks? But then you've got that season, you're, like, good, you know? Sure. Post that up. I have 12 Splintered Sparks of Shadow Flame. Allowed to have auctioneers without engineering and current content. Every time I load into Forge of Souls, I need to listen to Sylvanas. Oh dear. Love a reskin without the vendors. It's a cool mount. I don't think I would use it if it didn't have the vendors on it personally, just because it's so big. It does okay in Valdrakken, but mounts like this typically struggle to fit through doors. And I like, if I'm just kind of getting around from point A to point B, I usually like a more compact, you know, low to the ground, sort of like reasonable sized mount. 5 extra vicious saddles, nothing to spend them on. Must have had a good time queuing. I just want the war snail. It's been a long time. I think 2 seasons ago. I don't know, I'm just pulling that number out of my butt. At some point in my life, I had surplus saddles and I got caught up. But it's been a while. I've just been doing the current one. Oh, totally plow Mythic Plus. To a side of the mountain this season with Violet Hold, Dern Hold, Black Morass, and Halls of Reflection. Ugh. Throw a Halls of Stone in there. Is that a real place, or did I just imagine that? End time in there too. We've had some real winners over the years. Alrighty. What do we got? Demon Hunter, Melee Shaman, Fire Mage, Holy Paladin, and some form of a Windwalker Monk. Let's check out the transmogs. Pretty standard Demon Hunter transmog. I would wear that. Not mad at that. What are you wearing? Okay, that's awesome. That's excellent. Welcome to my life where I change no talents. Forget where my teammates are. Sometimes sink cooldowns into myself when I mean to heal somebody else. And hope for the best. I should put my foot on the floor. Here. Whoa! Let's sit in a chair like a human. I lost a slipper. My foot's cold. Oh wait, there is it. There it is. There it is! Oh, crisis averted. You guys can have heals now.
Combustion.
I scooted my frame. I'm being greedy. Scooted my frame inwards a little bit.
X. Ascendance.
Just to make it easier to keep an eye on.
Poly.
Oh, that is a delayed.
Repentance. Poly. Poly. Avenging Wrath. Poly. Searing glare. Combustion.
Uh-oh.
X.
Aw, whoopsie-daisy do. I was doing better at that, actually. It's not over yet.
Poly. Ascendance. Poly.
Oh, did I think it? I did.
X. Poly. Repentance.
Oh man. Oh well, we tried. The verbal warning is the game calling out cooldowns and CCs and whatnot that I've flagged it to do. It doesn't do me a lot of good because I'm using a pretty slow pair of Bluetooth earbuds. So I have extra delay, which means that by the time I hear it saying poly, it's over. So I could probably turn it off, but if I hear it spamming poly, it's a good indicator that someone's trying to get a poly off. So it's still somewhat helpful. The Gladiator Lhasa is the name of the add-on that does that. That was a good try though. That was a good round. We did some things. We pressed some buttons. Stuff happened.
Metamorphosis. X. X. Metamorphosis. The Hunt.
Ooh.
Repentance. Metamorphosis.
I don't even know where the
Thanks.
paladin is. I've like completely lost them. Oh, they're there. There's a lot going on in this one. I think I need to not worry so much about totems and turn off totem nameplates because I think they're stressing me out. At some points in my life, I have tracked them in the effort of like totem sniping and stuff. You know, Wind Fury, or not Wind Fury totem, grounding, etc. And I think that's not where I am right now. That's not who I am right now. I'm just gonna do that. This will be fine.
Metamorphosis. Avenging Wrath.
Oh, my dear. Whoopsies. Hey, we did it! Credit towards the mount happens when one of these 6-round games goes 3 and 3 or better for you. So I must win at least 3 rounds out of 6 in order to get any credit. If I win less than 3, then I get nothing. Thought I was talking about your friend Polly. Polly want a cracker? I watched Original Aladdin last night because I was feeling smooshy. And, I forgot just how much Robin Williams and Gilbert Gottfried carried that movie.
Metamorphosis. Combustion. Repentance. Metamorphosis. Bind. Polly.
Oh, see, too late.
Polly. Avenging Wrath.
I've misused my trinket. Where to see Moldraxis again? The Maker, thank you for the 2-month resub. Yay, Cracker with a 36-month resub. Happy 3 years. Generally speaking, my PvP add-on setup is Gladius, Gladiator Lhasa, and then Omnibar. Pretty important to show me like if somebody's used a kick or not, for example, so I can tell whether or not I've successfully faked it. Assuming that I'm faking kicks, which I'm kind of not doing today. Another one is big debuffs, which is not just for PvP, but it's nice when you're healing PvP to get a good idea of like, oh, I can take like a poly off this person or whatever.
Combustion. Polly. Repentance. Polly. Polly. Combustion. Polly. 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 Combustion.
See, one of the troubles sometimes is, and this is on me as well, but if you end up split from your DPS for whatever reason, and you have a cooldown for them, and if you could just get to them, you could probably, definitely, maybe save them. But they're out of your line of sight. Breaks hearts.
Polly.
Yay! They did it. I'm turning... I mean, it doesn't really matter right in this particular one, but interface. Let's take minions and minor off of nameplates. Clean up the screen a little bit. What made you go for Restored for PvP? It was a long time ago. I don't remember. I think Kata was the first time I tried it, and I don't remember what made me do it then. But ever since then, that was like my thing.
Metamorphosis.
And experience counts for a lot with me for this because it helps me feel comfier. Playing something that I'm not used to feels like having sausage fingers. Even if it's like a better class or whatever.
Metamorphosis. The Hunt.
But yeah, back in Kata, I PvP'd on Resto Druid and then BM Hunter. And I played... Oh, I did a bad thing. I was definitely too close to the sun. I counted too close to the 0. Oh! And they're dead. Alvin and the Chipmunks. Did they not make another movie? I thought they made another movie. I don't like mixing and matching PvP and PvE classes. It makes me itchy. I don't usually mix and match. I will play one thing for PvP and one thing for PvE. Because otherwise I'll have two sets of like stat priorities and spell priorities in my head, and it makes me leak goo out my ears. Did they? I saw it on Disney Plus last year, I think. I don't know if it was any good. I didn't watch it, but I saw them promoting it. This is the last round, and I really would love to win this one.
Repentance. Aven. Hex. Hex. Ascendance. Hex. Hex. Hex.
Oh, that was a really dangerous sit. I need my green circle. There we go. I'm really panicking. Alright. I have a problem where I tend to lose track of where people are.
Repentance.
Shift. No. Oh wait, something happened. Someone died. I didn't notice. I'll take it. That counts. That'll work. But see, I got 17 rating, and I'm pretty sure I was like a spaghetti noodle the whole time. Oh yeah, I lose track of where people are, and I don't have enough extra brain bandwidth to find them. I wish interrupts didn't fire if someone used it right before you hit the key. If someone used it right before you hit the key. Hazel, do you gear all of your alts? No. I gear an alt if and only if I'm planning on playing it. And sometimes not even if then. Sometimes not even then. Oh, look at all that stuff. Alright, so we get some extra... We get some conquest. I gotta remember to spend my conquest before the end of the season just to fill out like transmog. I also have some honor. I'm gonna pop on war mode and then go spend that real quick in the Waking Shores. I'm very slowly working on the World Tour achievement purely with those tokens. Geralt, incidentally, that's how I like it. Oh, you're gonna kick a mob, someone else does it before you, but then you end up burning yours. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. Doodle-doo. And then we take her back to town. It is about 10 o'clock. I'm gonna take a short break, check on my puppy dog, and then maybe do some more horseman runs. Before getting back into maybe a little bit more of this. We made it to 60%. You know, we have progress for something. Am I in Feldrathus? Almost. But I only did, I think, 7 horseman chances, and I have 15, so we've got more that we can do. I will be right back. Okay. I'm here. You know how a dog rolls on back and does this and then you rub the tummy? His is really warm. He's got a really warm tummy. Dracoros, thank you for the 4-month resub. World Tour achievement was just the earning honor in various zones of Dragonflight and World PvP. I don't know if that's exactly what it's called. But you can kind of cheese it if you have those gain honor tokens from doing shuffle or whatever, because you can oh, I never checked to see if there was a shuffle weekly quest. You can kind of cheese it because you can just kind of go to the zone. Let me see. PvP World Tour of Duty, pardon me. Tour of Duties. So I've done the Thaldraszus and the Anaran Plains ones purely from turning in those tokens in those zones. Got an owlbear. Nice. Alrighty. I want to do horseman is what we're doing here. She could tank, but she could also just DPS queue it up. I may have some plushies on my desk. I may have more plushies on my desk than I have had previously. It's kind of like having a little cheerleading squad of largely ocean creatures, although I have set a moose on my desk because I did go back for the moose because the moose was calling to me. Remember when you tried playing Warrior Hunter in Sepulchre? Yeah. Every now and then I get it into my head that I should play in Gira Hunter and like take it into raid. I did it a bit in Aberrus as well. I had that Draenei Hunter, Aerith, and she has the peacock and she has the butterfly pet. And I sent her, I got her some gear. I did some like normal Aberrus pug and some Elefar and whatnot. It was pretty fun. I might do that again for Mirdasil. Just depends on how much I still feel like raiding after I'm done with my main. This is the axe that I got from doing it like randomly dropped in time walking, and I learned it even though it was very valuable because I figured I don't have the patience to sell transmog. Ding 60, yippee! Yes, I'm the same way. I have to actually experience or try something out to kind of get the hang of it. And thank you for the 25-month resub. So many good vibes. Thank you for the fun. Oh, cheers! 25 months. Glad to have you here. Every new season I say, okay, now I'm gonna PvP, and I never do. I've been lazy about it in Dragonflight. I think, to be honest, early on in my PvP life in like Warlords and Legion, my main motivator for being like, okay, I'm gonna queue, I'm gonna get back into arenas, was I wanted to hang out with my friends. I wanted to hang out with Flabby and Silver Kitty and Ben, and I wanted to just like play with my friends, and PvP was the thing we would do. And if I didn't queue, I wouldn't really see my friends. So I was like, okay, well, we're gonna be a team, it's gonna be great. And nowadays, as years passed, we all just kind of like realized that we can just hang out and we don't have to queue if we don't want to. And we sometimes will still play, but like, you know, Flabby and I can do anything. So, there's less of a drive there because I can still see people even if I don't PvP. And when you take that away, when you strip the social aspect off of it, I don't know what I have left. The other thing that used to make me want to play was I used to think that if I could just be really good at PvP, that I would be able to make it on Twitch. I figured at the time, we're talking like 2015, 2016, maybe 2017, almost all of the really big popular WoW streamers were PvP streamers. And I looked at that and I went, oh, I have to PvP. If I'm going to be a good streamer, I must do the thing where I kill the people. And I had this idea that if I could just get really sick at it, that would be good for my career. And I was still very much a fledgling content creator then, even though I'd been doing it for a number of years. And I needed all the help I could get. But again, now it's come to my attention that you guys will hang out with me even if I just like sit here and run Headless Horseman or like do mount attempts or level in hardcore. Like and if anything, we have a better time doing that because we could actually like chat and hang out. So while I can PvP, I don't have to. And when you take that away, what's left? Although I do like getting the sets every season. And I like getting the vicious mounts. And I would be lying if I said I didn't feel like a little bit cool to be like, yeah, I have some of the PvP collectibles. Because I know that there are collectors, which is a group that I see myself as a part of. And I know some of them don't like to PvP, so they'll have gaps in their collection around the PvP stuff. So I feel a little extra like I'm benefiting from doing multiple disciplines of the game, and that like, yeah, my collection's got vicious mounts in it. I've got some elite sets, haha. Not that I'm holding it over other people, but I feel kind of cool for having it. Flatulent content creator. Less than some and more than some. Hung out for marathon crafting sessions too. Yeah, I mean, that was just pure joy. Who doesn't want to watch? It's profit just ticking through all by itself. You can talk about like the Muffin Man and you're just like making files. I kind of miss doing that. Contemplating whether or not to do the Horseman dungeon because I was lazy. Lo and behold, the mount dropped. Macy, congratulations. Oh, the Muffin Man. The Muffin Man. Do you know the Muffin Man? Am I the Muffin Man? Am I the muffin maven? I'm not the muffin maven. I barely make muffins. I have this idea that I should make muffins. I have all of the apparatus that is required to efficiently create muffins. I have all of the muffin making supplies and tools at my fingertips. I am the cosmic muffin being, and yet I choose to not make muffins. I just hasn't come up. Where does the Muffin Man live? Drury Lane. Yeah. We are all in part the muffin individual. Muffin and a cupcake. Cupcakes are, in theory, because again, a lot of the times it gets kind of muffled, but in theory, a cupcake's going to have a higher sugar content, and it's going to be iced on the top with like a frosting and icing. Whereas a muffin may have a high sugar content, but it's more likely to feature grains, fruits, but a lot of like modern fast food muffins are effectively cupcakes without the frosting, especially if it's just like chocolate chips and cake. The two muffin recipes that I ate the most growing up were blueberry muffins, lemon blueberry muffins, and then raisin bran muffins were the two main ones. I think people who make muffins don't call a muffin pan a muffin apparatus. Oh, but I'm also including like the stand mixer and the bowls and the spatulas. All of the muffin equipment. Hate cleaning my office. Landlord of my company's office building's being foreclosed on. We have to vacate by year end. Oh man, I bet there's some. If your office is anything like mine, bottoms of drawers, backs of cabinets, they just acquire all kinds of stuff. Just appears there as if from nowhere. I'm kitty cat. She's sitting on my chair. I recently found out that you can take the cushions out of the cover of an IKEA Poang chair and then launder the cover. It's kind of a pain in the butt to do it, but you can, and it looks way better. But now I'm thinking I should like sew or just I should throw something over the seat cushion for a buffer layer for the cat, so I have something I can more easily throw in the wash, because anywhere that she tends to sleep will naturally accumulate some level of like dander and dust and whatnot, so it'd be easier to keep it clean if I just had like a t-shirt or something on there, or like a sheet. I have a sewing machine, and I have like old sheets that I keep around just in case I need fabric for something, which I don't know what. Do I know how to sew? Marginally. Rectangles. I don't know how to do anything fancy. Only ever had chocolate or plain vanilla muffins? Yeah, it sounds like a cupcake. That sounds like a cupcake to me, just without frosting. My most advanced kitchen apparatus was a handheld mixer until I was in my 30s. Same with the sewing machine. I love stand mixers. They make me feel fancy and accomplished. And also like I can mix things without having to hold them. It's really not that big of a difference for the kind of things that I do, but I love having that KitchenAid. I'm glad I have it, even if I don't use it very often. Plus, because I don't use it very often, like what's it gonna do, get dusty? I'm pretty careful with it because I love it so much, so I feel like it's going to serve me for a long time. A Pixelop, thank you for the brand new sub. Appreciate it. It looks pretty on the counter. It does look pretty on the counter. And my Instant Pot. My Instant Pot looks less pretty on my counter. I keep it in a cabinet, but it's hard to get like perfectly clean. Plus the plastic covering the buttons at the front tends to peel, but it does such a good job. I'm a big kitchen appliance person. I love food gadgets. Any luck on Arfus? No, not yet. I'm trying more horseman attempts. I'm in a DPS queue right now. We've been in queue for 9 minutes. I did get my warlock mat. We finished that up yesterday. Isn't a proper muffin like twice the size of a cupcake? I'm starting to think that muffins and cupcakes mean something different in different parts of the world. Where I am, they're the same size. Unless, I guess if you buy like a commercial muffin from like, I don't know, Costco. Well, everything's bigger at Costco. Or like an airport. Those are huge. But those are like weirdly large muffins. Jumbo muffins are larger than the regular sized muffin. Yeah. Ireland muffins are way bigger than cupcakes. Huh. How is a microwave not a food gadget? I said I liked food gadgets. I didn't say I liked all food gadgets with no discrimination. I am weirdly anti-microwave and anti-air fryer. Not for other people. I think they're fine. I think they're great. I just don't have them myself with a weird amount of glee. past 130 attempts for the Velocidrake saddle. Oh, man. Commercially baked cupcakes are typically larger. Or muffins. Costco's got great chocolate chip muffins, yeah. Yeah, I would also expect a cupcake to be frosted and iced, unless they're calling it a naked cupcake, in which case I know I'm not among my people. Muffins in general, there are muffins in the world that are not that sweet, but most muffins are too sweet for me to want to have for breakfast. I used to like sweet breakfasts, and I don't know what happened to me, but I'm broken now. That's okay. What if they hide the frosting inside the cupcake? There's a recipe in the Warcraft cookbook for Stormwind Commando cupcakes. Oh, no. It's in the Hearthstone Innkeeper's Tavern cookbook. And they have you hollow out like a little cavity in the muffin cupcake. Now you've got me doing it. They make you hollow out a little cavity and then fill it with sprinkles. And then you put the lid back on so that if you sliced into the cupcake, or just bit into it, I suppose, you would find sprinkles, but on the inside. Now, what makes those Stormwind Commando? Over my head, but I have no imagination. Muff cake. Make a chocolate banana muffin that has become legendary with the kids on my street. Sounds pretty vile. I mean, it's just a cupcake with extra sprinkles. But yeah, I'm not as big of a cupcake person as I was. I liked them fine as a kid. Is this overdrive for Arfus attempt? Yeah, I'm really struggling to get this queue. I've been in queue for 12 minutes. I've decided to run all the characters, and I did one solo shuffle round in between. I also am not against cranking out, if Philodin's around, I'm not against cranking out time walking, because if I could do 5 of those, I could just like get him out and then have that done. Too many muff cakes become beefcake. I received some grape jelly that was handmade by one of my neighbors as a gift, which was the sweetest thing in the whole world. And it's really yummy. And I feel like I should make waffles to go with it. But I kind of want them for, like, dessert, you know. Should I just give up? After this time walking. After this, after this horseman, we'll do some time walking. If it ever pops. Froze? Yeah, it is. I think it's probably going to fade, like, really rapidly. I think this is probably as good as it's ever gonna look. But that's alright. It smelled really good. Good day. How are you? Good day, honey bun. I'm doing good. How are you? I know, I wanted to wear a hat today because I'm cold, but then I was like, you just did your hair. You must show it to the world. Wonder if sky blue would look nice. Maybe. I like pink. I'm having a pink year, I think. I want to stick in the pink range for a while. Like, try different ones and maybe try mixing up my own shade from a couple of different shades. But, I don't know. I want pink. I like pink. Besides, if I can keep one color / style of hair vaguely for long enough, I could actually get my avatars redone. Had no internet earlier. Just got home. Love the hair. Why, thank you. Couch ridden with COVID this week. Oh, that sucks. Pink's good vibes. Besides, with the really short hair, I feel like it makes people feel better. Not that it's my job to make anybody feel better. And also, I'm probably just projecting, but... Have my first job interview for 17 years tomorrow. Help! Oh, you're gonna do great. You're gonna do great. That's so exciting. Whenever I'm like super anxious about something like that, I try and remind myself that I'm anxious because it's important to me, and that anxiety and excitement are almost the same feeling. So you can kind of like reframe it if that works for you. Like, oh man, I'm really excited about my driving test because I might get a driving license, or I'm really excited about this interview because I might get a new job. Yeah, I've done lots of different hair colors in my past. We've done greens and blues and pinks and purples. I've done red by accident when I overshot pink. I always preferred the warmer colors, with the exception of purple. I think purple always looks nice. Blue is pretty, but it washes me out. It washes my skin out. I loved the Bastion hair. Green's nice too, but especially like a teal green. However, that was when it was long. I feel like with very short hair, going teal runs the risk of making me look like a chia pet. And it's up to me to decide whether or not that's desirable. Because, you know, it's a totally neutral thing. Maybe you want to look like a chia pet, maybe you don't want to look like a chia pet. I don't think I ever had a chia pet, but I'm pretty sure I wanted one at one point in my life. Blackish purple with sparkles, so it looks like space. Lavender color dye that I'm excited to do. Full Bob Ross. I'm just going to keep mixing pinks for a while. I'm going to get, I think... I like the Arctic Fox stuff, assuming that I'm happy with how it fades. So I'm gonna get, I think, a bottle of, this is Frosé. I'll also pick up a bottle of Virgin Pink and maybe a little bit of either Wrath or Poison, which is like a red, and try mixing in a little bit of that. Because what I really want is to nail, via practice, the same pink that my gnome wears. So they're not the bubblegum one. Oh, that's a regular chair. I was thinking that lighting sucks. So, not this pink. This pink is pretty much what I have now. I guess I have a slightly redder tone version. That's a pretty cool pink. But that one, that's the color that I want. I love that. It's a very red toned pink. But a lot of the pink hair dyes in the market are blue toned, like they lean towards fuchsia. So I feel like if I get a little bit of red myself and mix that in, then I can counter that. Some amount of the red tone is going to come from the brassiness that comes from my hair after I lift the brown out of it, because I have naturally dark brown hair. So whenever you lighten that, assuming that you're not toning it, you're going to end up with kind of like an orangey, brassy blonde anyway. So that helps to some extent to warm it up, but I want to warm it up like 5% more. And then maybe hit like a medium tone, because this is pretty light. This is pretty bright, although I do feel like super extra double cute. Varia has a coral pink hair dye that looks like that. That's the one I used first. I went through a tube of that. I did that a couple times. So if I say you look like a chia pet, I wonder if you choose to be insulted or not. Yeah, you're right. That's a complicated one. I always liked the idea of chia pets, but could never get one. Did Arfus and Scarlet Key drop for you yet? Key, yes. I got the key in my first ever 4-curse run. Arfus, not so much. I think your queue is broke. Yeah. It's been 18 minutes. Let's just move on with our lives. I'm gonna do some, I'm gonna crank out the time walking. Just catch a salmon and rub it on your head. Make your hair salmon colored. Got the key in my first ever run yesterday. Coral, yeah, that's the nice word. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do 5. I've lost my buff. My boof. Are you ready? Actually, I'm just gonna give you lead. DPS key for 20, so maybe they're breaking right now for some people. I had it pop but then fail, and maybe that had some kind of an impact on it. Oh, my bags are a mess. They are an unholy mess right now. We have pumpkins. You can't even vendor them. You can't even vendor the pumpkin rings. Delete that. And delete that. And then at least you can vendor the masks. That helps. The candy, not so much. I did all my trick-or-treating on this character, so her bags are struggling. What is this? Dire Brews remote. For what? For why? Hey, look, it's Halls of Lightning. Speak of the devil. Don't forget the weekly quest. I only have to do 4 for the buff thing, right? I did forget the quest. Oh, there we go. Now we have it. Because I don't think I care about this gear anymore. I think that gear is kind of no longer that important to me. We're just too close to the end of the season. You mean you don't go to the Grim Guzzler every day? I have this weird habit of whenever I like really want to waste time on WoW and I don't know what I want to do, I port to the Black Rock Depths. I port to the dungeon that has the Grim Guzzler in it. I take the pet dungeon port and I just go run the entire thing for transmog. Like I'll pick a random character and I'll go run the entire thing and I'll be like, oh man, I need a pair of boots from the Ring of Law. I hope I get the right boss. And like I'll just clear the whole place. Or the other one I'll do is Violet Hold. Somebody mentioned on stream that that was an awful thing to farm, so my brain went, okay. And whenever I like want to procrastinate, basically, I want to kill some time, I will, or just like, I say, oh, I need to just think. My head just needs to catch up with my thoughts. And Violet Hold can be something I do with my hands while my head catches up. It's a total lie. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just thinking about whether or not the mog's going to drop. But I'll do Legion Violet Hold again for transmog. What are you in here for? Time walking. I want the Sandy Shale Wing buff mount. I want the Sandy Shale Wing mount that you get for stacking up the time walking Turbulent Timeways buff on 5 different weeks of Turbulent Timeways. I should be just about there. This should be is a mount. Because, yeah. Do I need anything else from here? Halls of Lightning, Time Walking. Ancient Measuring Rod. There's a wand. Is that a wand? It looks like a bat that got dressed up for a birthday. What a strange device. You really forgot the important task of getting all the transmog from Violet Hold of all dungeons. I think it's because Violet Hold, especially if you're doing like a... Although, honestly, the Daily Lockout version shares... I guess if you're looking at Heroic. Because the normal and the mythic appearances seem to be shared. But, like, you get, like, a chance, and then that's it for the day, and you know, it feels like, well, I haven't done that yet today. Not that I do it every day, but it just feels extra valuable to do for some reason. Heading out now. Goodbye. Goodbye. I don't know why I'm so motivated to farm BRD of all places, though. I guess just because it's a big project with a lot of stuff in it, and assuming that I can get all the mog that I need from late in the dungeon, it's fun to be like, oh, now I no longer have to farm the end, or like I don't have to do the torch thing, or I don't have to go past XYZ point because I have all the stuff from the end of it on a given character, because, you know, I'm trying to collect all transmog types. Apparently. Close to 10% on this? Or 100 on this? Yeah, which is weird, right? That is for cloth only, mind you. This is priest only. If I go account wide, 85.9% account wide on this one. I would need mail belt and an axe from Loken as well. And then probably some other stuff. Time walking 21 and 24. But yeah, this is really not bad. I must have done this a lot. I must have done this a lot at some point in my life. Or maybe there's just not that much transmog from it. Or like shares appearances or something. This place takes the worst time walking of Wrath Prize now. I miss Oculus. At least they don't make us do the one that has Bran Bronzebeard role-playing by himself in a hallway for an hour. They locked some unique set items in it. Yeah, I have a very vague idea of what I'm even farming from Violet Hold whenever I'm in there. I just kind of look at all the things and I'm like, well, maybe I'll get this thing from this boss. Mage tier 6 set requires a belt from Violet Hold. Oh man. The more we talk about farming transmog, the more I want to do it. It's like... It's weird. It's one of those things where all you have to do is like float the transmog farming bubble to the top of my brain, and then I'm like, ooh, what if we just do LFR on a bunch of characters? What if I take Crinkle and I go do Trial of Valor? She might get something. That's transmog you get to keep. I think it's just because I'm at that comfy stage of transmog farming where there's a lot that I still need. So it's not that unreasonable to expect her to look for a drop from doing any given instance on pretty much any given character. There's not that many that I'm like 100% done with. So it feels pretty good still because you're, you know, you feel like you're making progress as you keep doing it. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh no. This dungeon, specifically the trash before the last boss, used to stress me out immensely back in... I guess it must have been back in Wrath. Because I don't know why it would have stressed me out that much in Time Walking unless it was tuned really tightly. But I remember being really worried about, like, polling correctly. Or... like, surviving that last trash room with, like, the balls and the giants. Runesheepers do a spin to win thing that hurts, yeah. Do you have thoughts on Blizzard handing out old mounts like candy in time walking raids? I didn't know they were doing that. Do I have thoughts on it? Kind of a cop-out to say no. I don't think my apathy is very good for content creation, but no, it doesn't really matter to me. If somebody's excited to get a mount and they get it and they're happy, then that's good. That's a net amount of extra joy in the world. Comforting thought there are still easy accomplishments waiting for you, like running all vanilla raids with a class you never had. Yeah, exactly. And it's like you get that purple print in your chat log and you're like, that's something that I now have on my account forever. That piece of transmog will be waiting for me whenever I need it for the rest of my life or whatever. Oh, this does hurt. Will I use it? Almost certainly not, but the idea that I could is very satisfying. Water. Feeling when you get something to say 100%, it's amazing too. I like the idea that my account is unique compared to everyone else. Long hair win. 2 years ago? The past, basically. But you can make your own hair longer anytime you like, if you stop cutting it and if you genetically grow hair. Failing that, you can investigate wigs, digital hair, whatever makes you happy. Have I seen leaks about the next X-Pack? Yeah, I've read some of the speculation. I haven't read any, like, I don't know if there's big lists of 4chan leaks or whatever going around. It's kind of the season for that, but I haven't looked at them. But the thing about the data mined mount name seems pretty credible. It seems fine. That's why I once owned a convertible. Will I use the roof? No. But it's nice to know that I could. Time walking this week? Yeah. Hope they make more astrological themed ones. They've done a good amount of them. We got like a fox looking thing. There was a Slyvern I think they did. I don't remember when, but sometime recently. Any specifics about leaks, I would prefer if you guys would go look those up independently just to keep the chat spoiler free, just in case they are accurate. I know some people like to avoid spoilers and find things out when they're ready. No, all good, all good. I figured I would just mention. Celestial Slyvern. Trading Post, that's where I got that from. That's right. That's right. Any luck? We got the Time Warp Prison, though. And then I leave the instance group. Satchel of Helpful Goods. Where do I need to turn that in? Legion Wrath, or not Legion Wrath, regular Wrath, right? But we're now officially at 1 knowledge of the time waste of 5. Or of 4, right? Yeah, reach 4 applications to get the buff. Still upset that Shadowlands didn't add any allied races. Wish I could be a vampire. I've always wanted to be a vampire in WoW, but I don't know if I wanted to be like a Venthyr. Like, I understand that's kind of their whole vibe, but I suppose if I really wanted to do a vampire, what I should do is I should make like a void elf or a blood elf, and I should just transmog the heck out of it. Because when I'm thinking vampire, I'm thinking Prince, whatever his name is, the Sand Lane guy from Ankahet. That's what I'm thinking. And he's basically just a blood elf with dietary restrictions. So yeah, I could probably just do that in character customization. Any transmog I need from this one? We're at time walking. Sladrian could have dropped me a wand. Whoa, it's a cool wand! But he didn't, so. Yeah, Keliseth, yeah. I think they're done with allied races. Yeah, I agree. Same reason. They can just tack them on with customizations. When they first started adding allied races, they didn't have the same ability to add like extra pages worth of customizations to the character creation screen that they have now. That came later. I think that if they had that technology, then like Dark Iron Dwarves and Mechanomes would have just been options on the existing race. Although one thing that's kind of cool is the fact that because of allied races, I liked the ones that got faction swapped, right? Like Nightborn being Horde gives Horde players access to the Night Elf model, and same deal with like Void Elves and Blood Elves. Although I think Void Elves look more like Blood Elves than Nightborn look like Night Elves, but with those BlizzCon prices, I get to pretend I am. Nice setup for competition viewing. These fish used to really frighten me. They were gonna get me. I used to level a lot of characters through these dungeons. Back when alt leveling required you to level through each expansion. Certain expansions I would do via questing, and some I would do via dungeons. I would quest up until BC, and then I would do dungeons through BC and Wrath. I would quest through Kata. And then I kind of forget. I kind of forget what happened after that. Maybe I was leveling those alts in Kata or like WoD. A week from tomorrow's BlizzCon, we get answers. What kind of answers are you most excited about? I feel like I'm not really expecting anything, but I'm kind of interested to see if anything that they tell me makes me feel anything, you know? I want to know if they have anything that's going to remind me that I'm alive. Now this is a nice fast dungeon. Hoping for player housing. A week from tomorrow. A week from tomorrow. Sky ripped open last time. I want that again. Any specs or races? Oh yeah, what if they have something to say about Untitled Survival Game? I want to be a moon priest. What do I want? I have everything I want. Maybe that's why I'm so content. I'm just happy. I've got it all. I don't need any more. Do you think they'll announce a new expansion? Yeah, I think so. I hope so. If they don't, then gonna need to really make my peace with Myrtil. Seagaleshire, thank you very much for the 20-month resub. If I could have anything in the game, it would be Shadow Paladins. Oh. Why do I feel like Death Knights are Shadow Paladins? I guess Arfus was kind of a paladin, and then he got too into his feelings, and now he's a Shadow Paladin. No, I'm not going to BlizzCon. I'm staying home. No travel for me. I watch through stream. Woo. Hot tea at home. Ah, yes. Forge of Souls. Paladins, but Shadow Priest like. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I haven't seen this one in a while. It's cool how, I mean, I know there's reasons why they match thematically, but it's cool how Torghasty it is when it came out so many expansions before Torghast. I know they built Torghast on the bones of this kind of situation, but still, it's cool. Missing anything here? Yes. Yes, I am. Everything. I have almost none of this, which checks out. What am I expecting them to announce? I don't expect a whole lot. I'm kind of a wait-and-see sort of person. Do we know when it is? I'm assuming morning. I'm assuming basically in my same stream time slot. So I do plan to watch it on stream, basically. Assuming that's allowed, which I'm pretty sure it should be. You know me, I like the rules. I predict they'll announce another WoW expansion. I predict that they're gonna get on stage and talk about how they've learned things and how the next adventure is new and exciting for reasons. My gnome would fall right through these. I would be dust. I would be wet dust in that fan by now. Hey, we really want to double down to Dragonflight. Next year we get 10-3, 10-4, 10-5, 10-6. They got on stage. Guys, we're tired. What if you guys just play this game and keep paying for it? And we're going to take like a nap. And then maybe we'll come back like next year and then think about if we want to make anything else. But right now, we don't really want to. So we won't. Make do. I mean, I would. I can't judge them for that. I do that all the time. Ooh, I got some cold sweat grips. There's transmog I needed. What about for the Devourer of Souls? Are we still in, oh no, all that stuff is stuff that the priest can use. Fine, because then I could catch up. Yeah. There would be like 3 dozen of us that would be just like happy as clams, actually, just like farming and collecting stuff. And role-playing and whatever. And then everybody else would be playing, you know, whatever the kids play these days. Final Fantasy. Hello Kitty Island Adventure. You're right, the music is bizarre in here. This is really weird. I was looking into this Return to Moria game. Like a Lord of the Rings themed survival crafting game? I can't decide if it looks like it's my thing or not. Makes no sense, but I love it. I'm trying to think of what it reminds me of. It's like jazzy. Do you think this is just what, you know, Arthas like to listen to? Has dwarves in it.
Stop attacking.
I guess I'd never done Heroic Forge of Souls in this character before. Most item names in there are also references to music. Oh. Interesting. What happened to that guy? There's some kind of a damage reflect mechanism, I think. Alright, last one. Carbon's Unbreak. We'll raid again for next tier. Huh. Hoping for more soloable world content, less of the group stuff. I don't mind the group stuff as long as they are forward, like they're doing the thing that they've started doing where they make it scale in such a way so that it can be soloed down the road when there's not anybody doing it. Which it seems like they've kind of learned. Hi Maury, how are you doing? Once the raid season kicks back up again, I'm gonna be busy. Didn't realize it was scalable now. A lot of them aren't. A lot of them don't scale very well. The new one that's coming in 10.2, they gave an interview to Game Rant that talked about how you get like a buff if you're the only player there, and that it scales in some way to make it manageable. Should be a rifle kill to Carbon called Nitrogen. NPC party so you can solo dungeons you need for quests and stuff. Oh, I like this one. I've done this one a lot. Gotta love Utgard Keep. I have an extra squishy soft place in my heart for the dungeons that I did a lot when I was leveling ults. And Utgard Keep, being one of the lower level Wrath dungeons, came up an awful lot in the Dungeon Finder back in the day. So I have everything here, except I somehow don't have the Mog for Kelitheth's dagger. That's weird. Also, I thought Kelitheth was the guy from before, and he is a Sand Lane, but he's not the one I was thinking of. Now I need to figure out what his name was. Prince... Dungeons. Nobody needs any healing, right? Wrath. If you've ever wondered why your healer's not healing you, this is why. Ankahet. Taldaram. Taldaram was the one that I was thinking of. He's the one that I wanted to be when I think of being a vampire in WoW. That's what I'm thinking of. But I feel like a lot of his energy comes from his outfit. You know, it's all in the transmog. Kelitheth and ICC. Kelitheth is also in this instance as well. We're gonna fight him pretty shortly here. Unpopular opinion, like Pinnacle over Key. Add-on for missing Mog is all the things. ATT, all the things. It's a great tool that demonstrates the idea that knowledge can ruin your life. It'll tell you what you don't have, and before you install it, you need to consider, are you happier knowing what you don't have? Or would you rather not know what you don't have? Pinnacle stresses me out. Quests, you have to collect the items. There's Kelsa. Do you have a dagger for me? No. Although apparently I needed the item ID for that helmet, so that's fine. The third of the 3 places in Keep. Ankahet. Oh, there's another one? Taldaram, Kelitheth, and... Where's the third guy? Is Kelitheth the one in ICC? Or is it a different one in ICC? Blood Prince Council. Raids. Home. Raids. Wrath. ICC. Blood Prince Council. Valinar. Yeah, Valinar is in ICC. All 3 of them are. Valinar may also appear on his own somewhere else, but I don't know. Kelitheth and Taldaram look identical. And I don't know if anybody's told them, but they match. Thanks, DJ Dork. Time walking for early expects has unique item IDs. Oh dear. It's a quest in Borean Tundra. Oh. I see. Ooh, cobalt. Cobalt always seemed like such a cool ore because, well, because it's so blue. I understand that's the point of it being like called cobalt, but it's so blue. What if they agreed on outfits beforehand? Marmo, thank you for the 53-month resub. Boop beep. Blue. I know that I'm a grumpy, curmudgeonly old hag because they remixed that blue song and made it into like a club song, which is fine. But they changed the lyrics in a way that you're no longer feeling blue. You're now feeling all right because you're partying or whatever. And that thematic change offends me. I am not okay with it. I did not sign off on this. Nobody asked me. And I don't approve. I'm not against it being updated or re-released or introduced to a new audience, but you've taken the core meaning of the song and you have lost it. Yeah, I know what you mean. I also don't like it. Yeah, good and feeling all right. Like, I don't even care that it's better or like a more positive thing. Yeah. No. Sometimes you're blue. Stop being happy. You need to be blue. I just don't want all the blueness to be erased from the world. Not that anybody's in danger of doing that, but I think positivity is great when it's, you know, real. I don't think that papering it over all of the pain and hurt in the world is a good thing. I love the peculiar color combination of your group. I'm also getting like way too hung up on pop song lyrics that show up on my phone when I'm going for a run. Really not that important. Hey, we got the sandy shale wing. Woo! Some things aren't that deep. If I did one more, I would get an item. Yeah. Do it! The curses help everyone but me. How can I have smooth legs like this night elf? Yeah, that's true. It could be a Mog. That's a good point. I won't do it for the item level, but I might do it for the Mog. Saw Alien and Predator. Any other movies you've watched recently? Last night was original Aladdin. No. I've been crabby though. I've been like at the end of the day feeling like real crabby and like smooshy, and like I don't want to watch anything that's a risk for me because I've used up all of my I've used up all of my good energy for the day. Put on Disney movie, get cozy, eat food out of bowl. No, Cash, I have not seen that one, and I don't plan to. I'm familiar with some of the subject matter, and I don't think it would improve my day. Movie watching as a risk. Yeah, I mean, the risk is that you'll take an hour and a half of your life and you'll feel bad when you didn't want to. It's not a big risk, but Halloween-ish movies. I'm kind of feeling done with them. I watched Alien and Predator, and then I watched the entire series Fall of the House of Usher, which was spooky. It was very good, but it was spooky. And then I'm like good now. I gotta watch Repo before October's over, and then that's about the end of it. And I guess I don't even have to. I can watch Repo any time of year. Lately, all I want to do at the end of the day is just like wrap up in a blanket with some plushies and my puppy and play Animal Crossing. Just go fish or something. Something extremely cute and cozy. Why not even usable? Eat it out of the original packaging. But it was leftover curry that I made. And then my partner roasted some potatoes, and then we mixed those in, so it was like roasted potatoes in curry, and it was really yummy. So it didn't have original packaging, because I cooked something. Mind you, I cooked it a while ago, and then it was in the freezer, and then it was in the fridge, but like, I cooked it. Gilmore Girls for cozy fall vibes. Do you prefer Alien or Aliens? I've only watched the first one, and I only watched it recently. For a long time, I'd never seen any of it, and I just recently watched the original. 7 seasons or whatever. Yeah, hard to want to start something that you know is long like that. I'm sure I would like it. I'm sure it would be cozy, but I don't know. I'm set in my ways. Mr. Moose jumped up on the couch with myself and my partner last night, and it was really funny just because he doesn't fit. And normally, Moose will be sleeping on the couch, and I will get onto the other end of the couch, more than a foot away from him, so he has lots of space. And then he'll be like, okay, Mom, if you're going to sit down, I guess I'll go lay on the floor. And I'm like, buddy, you had room. You could have stayed. But no, he'll go sleep on the floor, like on his bed, as soon as I sit down on the couch. So I kind of figured that he's the dog that likes to have his own space. But this time, the couch was thoroughly occupied by 2 adult human beings. And Moose is like, you know what? I'm coming up. And he, like, leaps and scrambles his way. Owie. Leaps and scrambles his way. And kind of like falls in the nest of like legs and blankets and stuff. And then just kind of goes, oh, and then like flops his head down like, guys, I'm tired. But he didn't stay for very long. I thought he was going to want to cuddle on the couch. And he cuddled for like a minute. And then he was like, you know what? This isn't comfy. I'm leaving. Moose likes hugs and he loves giving kisses. But, for cuddles, it's definitely still kitty cat number 1. Or you have the plushies so that if you want to snuggle something and you don't want to annoy your dog who's just trying to sleep, you can snuggle the plushie and let the dog sleep. I have plushie Moose. What if we just power infusion fill it in while the boss is unhittable? That'll be fun. I gotta remember to turn in the unstable prism before I log off and like move on with my life and forget about everything. Nobody noticed yet. You look a bit different today. Indeed. Snuggling plushie's not nearly as satisfying now. Yeah, but sometimes I have to let Mr. Moose sleep. He's a growing boy. He needs his naps. It's old Scooby-Doo movies. They made movies? I used to watch Scooby-Doo episodes as a kid. I liked them a lot before I realized that they were kind of formulaic. I did 382 rounds of solo shuffle last week because I waited so long to farm my seasonal mount. The pain. Wow, that's a lot. Holy moly. I've been chipping away at it, but I'm at 60%. I'm only a little over halfway. Although I did some 3s as well. It goes a bit faster in 3s. Gotta go. Cool. Thank you. Let's go turn that in. And then we can turn in the item and we can see if we got anything cool out of the Aber's Heroic chest. Would have worked out if not for you meddling kids. At one point in my life, I went back and rewatched some of the shows that I really enjoyed when I was a kid, and I was kind of dismayed to find out that they weren't as enjoyable anymore because I'd grown up. I remember really enjoying like Arthur and the Magic School Bus and the Big Comfy Couch. And then at one point in my life, I like watched the Magic School Bus as like a young adult. And then I went, well, this isn't, I'm not having fun anymore. It's fine. It's nostalgic, but like, it just doesn't hit quite the same. This way. Watched a bit of Chippendale. That was awesome. How did Kira react to Moose? She seems to not mind him as long as he leaves her alone. She knows he's around. She will tolerate being sniffed and she will tolerate being licked. She will not tolerate being chased, which is what we're training Moose to not do. We're working on respect cats. Which is going all right. They do visits, but they're not, we don't mix them unsupervised. We only let them see each other when we have eyes on them so that we can intervene if necessary. Alright, some time walking badges, and then we're gonna go back to little Draken. Saturday morning cartoon D&D show. Totally awful as it turns out. Yeah, I colored my hair yesterday, so it's different from yesterday's stream. I also had a hat on yesterday to further confuse the matter. Watching Pooh Bear with my friends' kiddos. Now that didn't age a day. The original Winnie the Pooh movie I rewatched recently, and I found it to be phenomenal, and I enjoyed it thoroughly cover to cover. It was perfect. I would change nothing. Time walking badges for moths? What kind of moths? Okay, let's turn this one in. Feet. That kind of mugs. That's what I need is feet. I got some hero gloves, which were a new appearance. Wow, would you look at that? They are red. Thunderwings? We don't know if that's true. We don't know that it is true. We don't know that it's not true. It could be. It would not be confirmed. And it's like impossible to tell one way or the other. It's one of those things where because we have low drop rates and a couple of different factors, people are going to want to have something to believe. Unless there's like a blue post that I missed, but as far as I can tell there wasn't. Someone at Bliss knows. We don't. What if they don't know? Neat bracers. Oh, they are bracers, aren't they? They're not gloves at all. Yeah, they're wrists. Okay. Okay, I gotta go buy boots or something. It says they increase the odds. It also says in that blue post, it specifically mentions the Headless Horseman mount. It doesn't say anything about Arfus the saddle or the key. Anecdotally, the key seems to definitely drop more with the curses. And then in Brewfest, which is different, but back in Brewfest, the saddle did seem to drop more often in the first kill of the day. It could drop on later ones, but there was evidence for Brewfest supporting that the saddle had a better chance in the first kill of the day. What all that means for Hallow's End is anybody's guess. I don't know. Do I have all these things? Toy known, toy known, toy known. Or just after the... Oh, it's only 25 badges. Yeah, there we go. Get the boots. Cold Step sandals. Make them non-refundable. Anything that's like for other classes here? I guess what I can do is I can go vendors. And then leather plate mail. And a bag of fishing treasures. Alright, forget that. Leather plate mail. Leather. Oh, Wax, I'm so sorry that you got timed out. That's just, I get the Pokemon reference. Streamlabs just thought you had a link. You didn't, but the bot gets overly excited sometimes. What is your top tip to make your living room cozy? If I had to pick just one tip, aside from clean it and tidy it, because clutter's not cozy, I would say different textures. So, you know, like maybe there's a floor texture and then you get a rug that's a different texture. Maybe you have a sofa that's one texture, but then you get like a blanket and like a contrasting texture, something chunkier. Maybe you have like a painting, or, you know, mixing and matching different textures and kind of layering them over each other so that everything feels like it has a bit of dimension to it. If I was going to have additional tips, I would say lighting is important. You know, can't go wrong with a good lamp. Consider what kind of color temperature you might like. Warmer temperature colored bulbs tend to make things feel cozier, so you could get like a nice lamp, and you could angle it thoughtfully, and you could add like a warm temperature bulb to it. For me, cozy means, is there a place that I can physically, genuinely be cozy? So like, is there a couch with blankets and pillows where I can nest and then, you know, like play video games? That's what makes it cozy for me. I also like having like a couple paintings or pieces of art around, and I like the rug. But, you know, cozy is, you know, I recommend adding a cat or a dog or both. Cats make everything look cozier, especially if it's a happy kitty cat. Fires. Say set the curtain on fire, more of a Christmas thing. Yeah. Doing my living room next year. So excited. Plants make me cozy. And it's a very individual thing. You can think about what sort of things you make you like the way that it feels in a different room. Like maybe there's a certain waiting room, or like you watch a show and you think that their living room in the show like looks really nice or whatever. Like whatever specifically appeals to you, because it's a very personal thing. Different people like different things. And I think it's really important that your space, if it matters to you and if you're doing something, I think it's nice to make it personalized to you a bit, you know? I like lots of blankets and pillows, and I like lots of plushies. I like plushies as pillows, and somebody else might not like that, and that's fine. Somebody might find that cozy means like dark, rich, moody colors, and somebody else might think that cozy is like bright and clear and like soft, neutral colors, and somebody else might think it's bright colors. It's up to you. Color for the walls come on that list. It's up to, I mean, that's a very personal thing. For me, I actually like to have very light colored neutral walls, but I want to add a lot of color through the furnishings. So like my living room has like white walls, which might come across as very, hospital, except that I have a teal couch and a pink chair, and then like a cream rug, and then like the rich colored wood floors, and then you have color in the pillows and you have color in the art. If I had neutral colored furniture, I would be more inclined to want color on the walls. But I've layered a lot of color into all of the other things in the room. You need a healer cube at Steworth. Yeah. I'll get on Crinkle in a sec here. So you are buying boots. Just the boots? Looking for orange X's. Yeah, just the boots. Who doesn't like plushies? Show yourself. I can see somebody who maybe wants their space to feel more grown up. Maybe they maybe there are other places of their lives that have felt kind of like overwhelmed and geared towards other people or younger people, and they want a space that feels like it's for them. And if that means that having fewer, like, you know, super cute things or super childlike things, and I can see that being like a really comforting and cozy thing. I like my super cute things because they're for me. But I wouldn't begrudge anybody wanting to make their space feel more adult so that it feels more like it's for them. Bright red walls are the way to go. I've noticed some interior designers using more like dark colors in the walls, and I think that their finished rooms look nice, but I want my bright neutral background that I can pile a bunch of color and fluffy stuff on it. Time walking currency is not account bound now. Hard picking art for walls. My first pieces of art, I genuinely just like went on Amazon and I like but I like searched a bunch for like themes that I thought were nice, and then I just like clicked through until I found colors that I felt like were kind of cool. I don't know if I like them as much now as I did when I picked them out, but oh no, I'm not doing curses. But I've had them for long enough that they've kind of grown on me. And then other things I feel like I just sort of pick up along the way places, like at farmers markets usually. Like I'll look at art and then I'll get something if I really like it because I figured it's going to be with me for a long time. But yeah, I feel the just wanting to get anything up. I used to put up posters. One thing I did was I got a lot of tapestries. I went on Etsy for this place. I wanted, again, to get like some more texture into a room. So I figured, what if I had different art that was printed onto fabric or printed onto quilts that I could hang to kind of add a little bit of extra coziness to the walls. So for my bedroom, I found a couple of different tapestries. Some of them were just basically printed on like cheap, thin polyester, whatever, sheets that you then like, I've tacked up onto the wall with little command hooks. I sewed little loops in, and I have these little tiny clear command hooks that I've used to kind of stretch them across the wall. And then I have another one that's like a big sort of like a cozy quilty looking one. And I've run like a rod through that, and then I've hung that up on a rod. But there's lots of different places to look for stuff. And you also don't have to be committed to something forever. You can rotate things around. If you don't like it, especially if it was cheap, you don't have to keep it like forever. But I love shopping for that kind of thing. My big quilty tapestry is like wolves. It's like one of my wolf t-shirts, but in wall art form, and I adore it. It's the most like, I don't know. I would have loved it when I was 12, and I also love it now. But it's kind of an homage to what 12-year-old me would have wanted. It's not modern at all. And then I have two big ones that are like that super light, pretty cheap, but like the art's pretty. Art of whales, because I really wanted like a wildlife of the Pacific Northwest theme, because I'm obsessed, and I really enjoyed that. But you know, you can just pick something because you like the colors of it. You can pick something because you like the subject. You can also have nothing if you prefer the minimalism. That's good too. Loot-filled pumpkin. No luck. I love dark walls in the bedroom. Don't like them as much in the living room. Any thoughts on what's for lunch? You know what occurred to me is that yesterday I was talking about how I smelled grilled cheese. It was literally leftover curry. It had nothing to do with grilled cheese. My smeller is broken. Art made by friends and family reminds me of them. That's really sweet. That's a really good idea. My sister, in her home, a lot of the things that her and her husband have hung up are like mementos from trips they've taken together, or like photos of the pair of them, or like their pets, or, you know, places that they've been before, and they bring things back, or like they'll get prints made of those things and hang those up, or again artwork from friends of theirs. And I really like that vibe of their place because it just reminds you of all these awesome things they've done. Also, they're just like really cute together. They're really happy and it shows. Let's see. Who else needs to do Horseman? Maybe it was very funky cheese. Maybe the DPSQ will be better this time. I really like the whales. And I also really like these canvases too. I just like having stuff on the walls, and I like having big things. I am personally not much for the gallery wall trend that people like. I appreciate, I support anybody's right to put whatever they want in their own homes. And I know those are very specific and personal because they tend to be filled with memories. But just in terms of like, I would rather have a couple things that are huge than a lot of things that are small. I think just because it makes it less busy visually. This background is already busy enough. It's a lot. Headless Horseman. Pixie your nephew in your place? I don't. That's a good idea. Gallery wall of huge things. What if I had a house that had the really huge walls because it had like big vaulted ceilings, and I wanted the same kind of like scale ratio of the big art in here, so I had to get like an 18-foot tapestry of whales. Life-sized whales on the walls. Imagine a life-size, like a scale-sized painting of an orca whale on the wall of like a big place with a vaulted ceiling that also has huge windows that are like overlooking the ocean. I saw some really pretty houses that I can't afford recently. I don't even think it would be a good idea for me to buy them if I could afford them. I think there's a lot of merit in living beneath your means and having a place that's not super big when you don't need a lot of space to keep things kind of simple and manageable for you throughout different phases of your life. But I can't deny this one place was really pretty. Mom had a gallery wall, photos of family members. Vaulted ceilings. We used to get giant Christmas trees. The cat loved it. Hello, everyone. Hello, Hazel. Hello. Moose is going to see his first Christmas tree. That's going to be a problem, actually. I don't know what he's going to do, but I have a feeling the answer is mischief. Oh, boy. I guess we're going to have to work on that at some point. He will leave things alone if reminded to do so enough. Might have to put a fence around it. I guess I do actually have a fence, but I don't know. I feel like it might bum me out to put my Christmas tree in jail. Tree equals stick equals moose must carry. Yeah. Yeah, I do still have the pen, the exercise pen that we used to help Moose settle in when he first showed up. It's not in use right now, but we still have it. So I could use that to put the Christmas tree in jail if need be. Would it be too big to interest him? Maybe. We'll have to find out. Although you should see the size of the branches that he tries to pick up. They'll do like commercial level tree trimming, and they'll just sometimes leave like large branches just on the ground. And he will walk up to what is effectively a tree and be like, I can pick this up. I know I can. What is the squish's name? This one is Patterson. Patterson is a moose with a scarf. I also got a bunch of other ones. I may have gone a little hard, especially because I have like a sea theme with my desk. I loved Maeve the manatee so much that I wanted to get Maeve some friends. And they had other ones that were also kind of ocean-like. So I ended up, there's Olden, who's a little octopus, bloop, 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 to hang out with Maeve. And then Easton, who is an anglerfish, bloop, 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 to sit behind Maeve. And then this one, I thought it was some kind of a fishy. This one I thought it was some kind of like a fishy. It has like some little horns and some little flippers. And I was like, oh, that's really cute. It kind of reminds me of when I caught a cabezon. It had little like horns that would poke up. And it had like a little corduroy tummy, and I thought, this is wonderful, and it's coming home with me. And when I got home and I looked this up the creature, because I was like, what do you think this is? And it turns out that this design is based on the Loch Ness Monster. So in my head, it's just a blue cabezon because I wanted it to be a real fish. But apparently she's looned the Loch Ness Monster. Oh. As someone who's justified buying a 1 meter long whale plushie, I approve of the squishies. Yeah, I have a good selection of them. I like them. I move them around between different rooms. I have a couple hiding on the shelf back there too. Let's see. I wasn't gonna get so many, but then they were like, if you buy this many, this one is free. And then I went, oh, okay. Or then there was one case where I was like waiting to check out, and the cashier was like, well, did you know that if you buy one, you can get another one half off? And I went, oh, no, that's okay. But then they had to answer the phone. And while they were on the phone, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll look to see if there's anything else. And then I got another one. Yeah, I hope Moose doesn't love them. He's stolen them on a couple of occasions. He mostly seems to just get them slobbery, and they clean up okay in the wash, but I do try to keep them from him and to teach him that he has his toys and I have my toys. All the ones you don't buy are free. There you go. It's a trick. Yeah, they got me. Moose does resemble a moose. Might be the legs and the face. He's kind of lanky. He's going through a lanky phase. A lanky teenager puppy phase. His ears are so... I mean, his everything is so cute. I'm in love, but he's such a good boy. But I'm in a phase right now where I like picking out which plushie I'm going to take with me to, like, cuddle on the couch and play Animal Crossing, or to, like, go to bed, or which one's going to sit with me at my desk while I delete emails, or... you know, post the stream VOD, whatever it's going to be. His ears stick out like antlers. Sometimes when he's playing with other dogs at the park and he's like really worked up and he's real excited, he can almost point them both all the way up. They fold over a little bit at the very tips because it's just a lot of ear. But they're so big, it's no wonder he can't really properly stick them up because they're still huge for his face. His face has a lot of catching up to do still. Christmas costume. Antlers are my Christmas costume. I wear antlers every year around Christmas time. Easton's a good boy. Yeah, this is the moose with the scarf I didn't buy last time. The one I didn't buy last time was a much bigger version of this. I did get one big squish, but I mostly prioritized like the medium-sized versions because they're more reasonable to like fit in the desk or have in my lap or like not completely drown my life. Plus they weren't quite as expensive. Flopped over ear tips are adorable. Finley's would wiggle every time he moved his head side to side. When Moose is kind of like trotting along on a walk, or like he'll be, I'll call him to come to me at the park or whatever, and when he starts like galloping towards me, his ears are like bloom, 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 and it's just the cutest thing ever. Where's the giant squishy? It's on my bed. It's in the other room. I got a leopard seal named Mimi, which apparently is a Claire's exclusive. I walked into a Claire's for the first time in like 15 years. I also have Jerome, who is the Triceratops that I had previously had that I still enjoy very much. It's not like enormous, but they're bigger than these ones. They're probably like a foot long. Apparently they have enormous ones at Costco, but I don't think any amount of love for Squish is going to make me go to Costco. I hope you alternate the plushies regularly, else one gets sad. Yeah, I've been rotating them around. I opened one mystery pack and got one that didn't look like a plushie I would normally select. And then I felt bad that I didn't immediately like her and I thought she was ugly. So then I resolved that I was going to cuddle with her until she grew on me, which actually did not take very long. It's the rainbow zebra with a purple mane. and she's like the perfect size to cuddle with in bed. That was more than a foot. Moose is a foot. Moose is a foot! This is supposed to be, I mean, obviously they say it's like 5 inches or 8 inches or whatever, and they usually doesn't really mean anything because a lot of them will be different in size, but I think this is supposed to be 8 inches, and not 12. I wonder how big my Mr. Moose puppy is. I don't know. He hasn't been weighed lately. He's hug-sized. Have to measure. I'll give this DPSQ until 10 minutes. Man, I said I was going to work on my Vicious Met today. I did one round of solo shuffle and called it good. Oh, hey! I jinxed it into happening. $1 is 6 inches. I haven't seen like a dollar bill in years and years and years. Yeah, Moose does have some siblings. We met some of them very briefly at the shelter. They were already spoken for, but they reunited on their neuter appointment day. They look very different from him. He is the only sibling that looks like a German Shepherd. No, I don't want to do that. One of his sister looks like a husky or like a Malamute, and then his brother looks like a Labrador, which is weird because like he doesn't really have that many. I mean they're 5% Labrador theoretically. I did see another puppy that looked a lot like Moose when we were out for a walk. We didn't stop to play because Mr. Moose was already tired, but I saw it and I'm like, that's a Mooselganger. That's like the same puppy again. That's weird. It was like the same size and the same markings. It was like a little darker in the face, but it was, it looked almost exactly like him. And if Mr. Moose hadn't been so tired, I would have brought him over to see if, because they were like playing in a park, I would have seen if maybe he could A, play, and then B, if I could use that as an in to ask that person about their dog. And find out why it looks so much like my dog. Doppelmusser. Killier, I'm really sorry to hear that. I hope she turns up soon. Lust Hunter. Okay. Found what I want for Christmas. Oh, it scared me. I got the sword. Although apparently the sword's now been added to my appearance collection, which it had not been previously, so I guess I had not looted it on a character that could learn it. So that's something. That makes that kind of worth my time. Whoa. Lego architecture. Yumeji Castle. Alright, what else do we got? I think we're working through all of the DPS queues. Oh no, we got more. Hunter. Why don't we skip through and we'll do the ones that can do healer or tank queues just to get faster ones. Yeah, I think Karakta is winning so far. We're gonna have to go back for the Karakta rematch at some future time. I just never remember to try to get groups whenever Karakta's spawning. I guess Karakta probably still is spawning today. Headless Horseman, there we go. It's so chilly outside, and I have so many warm things to wear, and I'm still cold outside because it's cold outside. And I just need to remember that no amount of sweaters is going to make it feel like I'm still in bed. That is an unrealistic desire. And I need to let it go and accept that I will never be as warm as I am in bed if I'm not in bed. And that's okay. Have I decided on a pet for Hazmu? Pardon me, it's Muzel. Excuse me. Moo. He's gonna... I want Mazrinash. I want the pink bird that only eats cheese and fruit and mushrooms. It's so stupid. It's not a good idea. How about an electric blanket? It's just, it's when I'm outside and I'm walking the dog, I just can't have it on my knees and my toes. And you just gotta let go. You just gotta be cold sometimes. The solution is to stream from bed. Not a good idea, but it's your idea. I want the pink birdie. I wanna buy cheese for my bird. Thought you meant inside. No. Like when I'm walking the dog and stuff. Cause like I wear a hat and scarf and I've got layers and I got my warm pants and stuff and I got like warm socks. And don't get me wrong, I can be pretty like well insulated, but it's never gonna be like toasty warm in bed levels of warm. And that's okay. I just gotta let go of that. I'm gonna lust on pole this time. Huh, what do you think about that? Oh, those kitty cats. They're both Ichiyaki. Electric warming jacket. But see, shamans, it is known that shamans lust. Shamans are supposed to lust. Should I stop fighting and put on the heat? Yeah. I think it's probably time. I did, if it makes you feel any better. I turned it on in my office today. I tell myself I'm doing it for my cat, and that is true. But at a certain point, you just have to admit the heat. Still have AC hooked up the window. You live somewhere warm though, right? I guess I might be mistaken in that. You live in Oregon. Why did I think you lived in Texas? I think I'm mixing you up with somebody else. I feel like I remember a lot of miscellaneous facts about stream viewers, but occasionally the names get scrambled and I'll have this whole backstory for somebody, but then I realize I was thinking of somebody else, or like I've mixed and matched different parts of it. So boy, these are DPS only queues. Night Flame can tank it. 71 in New York. That's like weirdly warm for this time of year, isn't it? Now a Japanese restaurant. Is it any good? I remember they used to have a Japanese restaurant. They had like a sushi place that was like a... It was okay. I ate there once or twice at Bridgeport. Headless Horseman. Find your... Do you remember my pet termite's name? I don't. I want to call it Arthur, but I've just invented that. Apparently all of my brain trivia is going to remembering local dog names. Like I've made it for some reason an effort to remember the names of dogs at the park that Moose plays with whenever I chat with their people, or just whenever I overhear them calling to their dog. Sinju's still there, it's just fine. Haven't tried the new place, you know. I used to like going to Waffle Window there and getting the one with the goat cheese and the tomatoes. Clint Eastwood. No, these are actual dog names. It's not like the cats. One of my favorite cats moved away. I saw moving vans and trucks. And then I think new people live there, and I haven't seen her. And I think she's moved. And I hope she's living somewhere nice, where she can meet nice new neighbors and have nice places to sleep in the sun. I hope she's happy. Have you been getting 2 vicious saddles when you fill the bar? I haven't filled the bar yet. One in my bag, one from the postmaster. Oh, weird. Nice long hair cat. She was, yeah, she had some longer fur. She was so sweet. I know a few different cats. That I'm on good terms with. I think about them a lot. I really thought I wouldn't see them anymore once I started walking around with a dog, but apparently a lot of them don't mind dogs. I guess that makes sense. There's a lot of dogs in the neighborhoods, but like people, they're pretty used to them. I wonder if I would ever get a long hair cat. It would be more brushing. You definitely want to make sure their coats don't get matted. I've seen some shelter listings of kitties that had to get shaved because they weren't brushed properly in their previous homes. And they got mats in their fur, which is no good. Brush the cat. Some of the cats will still say hi. Moose is a little bit of a cat repellent, but he likes the cats. He's just a bit too excited. He comes in a little too hot. Turbo dog. Yeah, I got the vibe that that one cat that moved away knew everybody in the neighborhood. Like, you would walk by and you would pet her, and then you would keep walking and you would look behind you and she would be shaking down somebody else for pets. She would say hi to everybody. Or she would, like, remember the people that would, like, stop to visit with her. Yeah, important for pets to be in good shape. For lots of reasons. Oh, hey, Croc is gonna spawn. Is it weird that it took me that long to get into Horseman? I'm tanking. Neighbor cats would go to house, pretend to be their cat to get food. It didn't work since they were fat. Have you ever seen a cat that's like that, but has a collar that just says, "Do not feed"? Because I have. And it's really funny. The one cat that has like a really noticeable one of those, we started calling that cat "Do Not Feed" because it's just like very prominently shown on the collar. And that was just very, I mean, it's a good idea if your cat's gonna shake people down and have, you know, I don't think you should ever feed other people's cats. Anyways, you don't know if they have like food intolerances, and it's kind of not your place. But that one apparently was good at scamming people. It had to be blocked by its own collar. Dunaden, thank you for the 16-month resub. My last prime, sadly. Cutting down on expenses these days. Thank you for the content. Thanks for being here. Poor starving 12-pound cat. I totally, completely, 100% understand. If Ellie were braver, she would need that color in case she ever got out.
Keep moving. Watch your feet.
Ta-da! No. Yeah, well, worth a try. Rendweed, thank you for the 12-month resub. Happy 1 year. You have a DH? I know, right? Isn't that weird? I leveled it somewhat recently. Anyone want to do Karakta? Custom started group. Karakta. Warlord off. Drops mount. Very cool. Wahoo. What's good? Eats all our food, sees me walking into the kitchen, starts licking, nudging her empty bowls, giving me sad eyes. Moose is taking a page or two out of that book. He's a growing boy. It's tough to tell. He's just a hungry boy. It's hard work getting this big this fast. Although I found a puppy that's going to be bigger than him when he's grown up. It was a puppy that was his exact age that was like a dog, like, oh, I don't know how much it would have weighed, but it had just a huge frame. It was actually from the same shelter as him. I think I remember the listings for those puppies going up right after Moose's listing was taken down. But it was kind of like a bully mix puppy, but just with this huge, like, big, wide shoulders, long legs, huge tank-looking kind of Rottweiler-style head. It was so floppy and happy and cute. It was a really friendly, sweet puppy. I was like, all right, Moose, we finally found the dog that is going to be bigger than you when it's grown up. Not that he's going to be the biggest dog in the whole world. I know that we know dogs that are going to be bigger than him, but He's usually a little bigger than other puppies his age, but not that one. We found one. Top Pyrenees, more like a polar bear being walked. Yeah, they can be massive. It's a lot of food. It's a lot of food and it's a lot of hair. It's a lot of poop. It's a lot of love. Big dog. Most efficient way to farm vicious mounts? Spam 3s or RBGs. I think RBGs, if you can win, is a relatively fast way to do it. 3s, especially if you're playing like a Zerg comp, is pretty good too. I've been doing it in shuffle, which I think is the wrong answer, even with healer queues. Any luck? Nope. Anybody get any luck? Pardon me. Thank you guys. Nope, no good. It'll drop eventually. We got any more? I think I've got another character that can do Horseman with a relatively fast queue. It's been 5 whole minutes. My food bowl is empty. When I'm scooping Mr. Moose's food into his like slow feeder bowl, because he has to use a slow feeder, otherwise he would inhale his food and I'm sure have problems. He likes to wedge his head between my knees and the cabinets, and I don't really know why. It's not like the best place for him to be if I drop anything. He would have to unwedge himself before picking up any kibble if I drop it, but maybe it's just reminding me that he's there. 3v3 arena to farm vicious mounts for PvP. Valdraken nursery gives pets, dragon pets, and some other pets as well. Whelp daycare. Let's do Horseman, and we'll tank it. Are your male characters not allowed to wear pants? They just choose not to. He's wearing pants on part of his legs. They also like to ventilate their pecs. Yeah. I like his ponytail. I have door pants. Are they pants that you put on when you need to answer the door? I heard a rumor that dancing gives you shorter queues. Oh, speaking of big dogs, Tyvan. Pants that I only put on when there's a knock at the door. That's fair. I do door sweaters sometimes where I'll throw an extra layer on top if I'm going to be speaking with strangers or like going outside. But I'm usually wearing pants indoors because I think it would be too cold otherwise. If I lived somewhere really warm, I would probably live that life. I feel like if I lived somewhere really warm, I would be one of those people that lives in leggings all the time because they're really comfy, but they're just not warm enough for me. I get chilly.
Breath incoming.
Then they don't get to see your moose shirt. True. Look at me go. I'm tanking.
Spread.
Rude to do PvPs and PvE gear? No, but if, depending on the item level of your PvE gear, you may find yourself at a disadvantage for a while. PvP gear, epic PvP gear scales to 450 in PvP. There are also PvP specific embellishes, or embellishes that are specifically desired for PvP, that you may wish to get crafted onto your gear if you are looking to take a run at a PvP season. It'll help out.
Keep moving.
I don't remember what any of mine do, but I do have them on my druid. Yeah, the Prime Loot mount used to be a shop mount, the Armored Bloodwing. That was a shop mount back in the day. They took it off the shop somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 years ago.
Spread. Breath incoming.
This has been cozy. I've had a comfy stream. I like doing time walking. I like getting some horseman chances in. We got like a little bit of vicious map progress. It's not nothing. Every little bit's gonna help. Everything's gonna count. Just want the mount. Don't want to spend too much money on the gear. Yeah, that's fair. I think you could grind it out in that gear. You just need to be at 1k rating or above, and I think you could do that with your eyes closed and just pressing random buttons if you queued for long enough.
Spread.
I've always been kind of tempted to take an alt that I don't really know how to play and see what I can button mash my way to. Ideally a DPS. See if I can button mash DPS my way to some... Because I think it would be fun to play PvP like that. Playing something that you don't really know sometimes takes the pressure off you to do anything good because you're just trying to do anything at all. And when the bar is do anything, then, you know, you have lots of different answers to that question. Trying to work up the willpower to grind the vicious mount. Yeah, I'm gonna have a little bit of a last minute burst to do. DPS queues are too long, or I would do that. Yeah.
Spread.
Maybe sometime I'll get Flabby on stream and we'll just do 3s for a couple hours on stream. What am I looking for? Pumpkin. Tricky treats. Yeah, well. Yeah, maybe next season if it occurs to me. It would be fun. Do a DPS character. Gotten all the goodies. Mount key manual. No pet. Pet seems rare. Pet seems quite tough to get. I want to check on Whelp Daycare dailies real quick. Silver Kitty still play WoW? Off and on. I feel like Silver Kitty was playing some hardcore classic for a minute there, but I don't know if they stuck with it. Yeah, I was in the same position doing it, and I already had the Armored Bloodwing as well. Every now and then they give away something, and I'm like, wait, I already had this. Usually TCG stuff. I bought this already. Alright. Cozy Camouflage, Zaleth on the Go, Pole Position Possidress. Zaleth on the Go? No. Yeah, well, maybe next time. Yeah, Arfus is only available during Hella's End, unless they do something weird in Stigmon Trading Post, but I'm not expecting them to. I should spend my conquest before the season is over. You can't take my playstyle of mash keyboard and hope for the best. Granted 10 saddles from PvP. Got 2,500. That's awesome. Oh yeah, I was... it's okay, I can worry about it later. Oh, you know what I never did? Is I never checked out my new mount. I got a Sandy Shellwing. We got another mount for doing the Turbulent Time Waste thing. We finished it. And I got like completely sidetracked by buying like boots or something from the vendor, and I just never Also, I think I never turned in the cash, on my priest. Oh no, I did. I got bracers. That's right. I did turn it in, and I got bracers, and they were red, and I was like, oh wow, when you look at that, that's right. Yeah, it's a mount. It looks really uncomfortable with that rope in its mouth. Is that really the only way that you can drive these things? This particular mount is for doing Master of the Turbulent Timeways, gaining the Master of the Timeways buff for 5 weeks during a Turbulent Timeways event. So, and you get that buff by doing 4 dungeons without letting your buff drop. Got the Halloween mount today. Well, congratulations! I find those mounts so ugly. Yeah, they're fine. I don't know if they're ever going to be my favorite thing, but it's another mount for the collection, I suppose. Well, I think it's time to wrap up a little bit. Tomorrow is Friday, and tomorrow I don't quite know what to do with stream because I have an appointment that's like kind of right in the middle of it, and I'm gonna have to leave a bit early. So I either need to do a really short stream or I just need to suck it up and cancel it because I can't even make it up later in the day because I've got other stuff going on. I think I'm going to just skip tomorrow's stream to make tomorrow a little easier on myself. We're going to do stream on Saturday, Sunday, regular weekend streams. I won't be here tomorrow. I have a thing. It's just too busy. But we'll be back on Saturday and we'll do something super fun. Thank you very much for joining me today on stream. I appreciate the company very much. I will see you Saturday if you're around, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.